welcome to part 2 of the Black Vault Alien Files, where I tell you about the CIA's recently released UFO papers. If you haven't watched part 1, you can do so by clicking right here. This is a series that I'll be doing as long as there's interest in it, so if you don't want to miss the next installment, hit that subscribe button and tap that notification bell so that you'll be notified immediately when the next video is posted. And finally, thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. Shout out to the TikTok that low-key is making me a little famous, and please leave any questions that you have for the AMA in the comments. Okay, so when we left off, the man that we stand, Dr. Leon Davidson, was threatening the CIA and other government entities, telling them that if he didn't give them some answers, he was gonna write an article to spill the UFO tea or expose them for blatantly ignoring his inquiries. Either way, the CIA is not getting out of this mess without some bruises. And I guess that they decided to cooperate because the next sentence of this paper says, "We are sending you by Buckslip a copy of Davidson's latest publication on space saucers entitled The Air Force and the Saucers, Part 3. The Central Intelligence Agency becomes involved with saucers." By the way, I did Google it, and a buckslip is a routing slip used especially in military offices to indicate the persons to whom the attached material is to go to, and usually the kind of action to be taken with such material. Okay, so they're kind of cooperating with him, but I have to say that Dr. D is savage for posting not 1, not 2, but 3 articles about his back and forth with the government and the CIA. This man is not happy about the CIA and whatever other government entities wasting a year of his life, and he is letting everyone know. Other things to note about this paper are that apparently Davidson wanted to expose a redacted person's name, but did not because rather than fearing CIA retribution, he was afraid that he would spell the guy's name wrong, which I think is hilarious. Also, this redacted person, which I am assuming is the same person as the redacted person before that, based on context, promised to get the code translation and the identification of the transmitter for Davidson if possible, and in any event, to give him some response within a week or so. And finally, apparently, Davidson, and then something that's redacted, has been dealing with the CIA. He put in touch with, I'm assuming another redacted person, for further interminable business and will be relieved of this chore. I have no idea what any of that means, but I am intrigued. Also, I totally forgot to mention this in the last video, but Dr. Leon Davidson actually wrote Flying Saucer, an analysis of the Air Force Project Blue Book special report, which I think might be a combination of the 3 articles that he wrote about flying saucers, but I only briefly skimmed the first couple pages of the report, so I'm not 100% sure. In the case that you want to give it a read, it's in the description below. Unfortunately, the story of Dr. Leon Davidson ends here, but I do know for a fact that he will be back. This report just mentions the film UFO, Fact or Fancy, and how getting involved in films ruins the harmonious, some things redacted, film relationship on film procurement. And like I told you, Dr. Leon Davidson is back, baby, and hopefully he stays back because I am living for him. As you can see here, DCI cross DCI received a letter from Davidson requesting information on the recordings received from some redacted person or thing. Here we go, he is still trying to get his hands on these tapes, and this is the drama I have been waiting for. It says Davidson refers to some correspondence he had with you and then goes on to ask for agency cooperation in learning what the code message revealed. Apparently, Davidson testified before the House Subcommittee on Government Information, and the writer of the report is both getting copies of the testimony and asking the receiver of this report on any background information that he might have on Davidson. And finally, these savages call out the receiver of this report, asking him, "Can you advise us as to how you got in correspondence and how he learned that the DCI was the proper person to address his request to?" If you have ever worked in an office, you know, and as per my last email message, when you see one. If you're enjoying this video so far, please hit that subscribe button, and if you'd like to see more of this series, tap that like button. Thank you so much. This correspondence is nice because everything but the message is redacted. Based on the receiver's conversation with Attic, they told DCI that Davidson would get a response to his inquiries. The author then asks if a letter to Davidson has been written, and if so, did the receiver of this report get a copy, because they want to make sure that it exists and was written. Probably because Dr. D is becoming a real pain in the Okay, something weird is going on with this one. Apparently there is no translation of the tape that Davidson is trying to get his hands on, nor is there any record available except for what you know. To add to that, Davidson has been approached by a redacted person or group, and then something else that's redacted, Attic, and the same message was given to him again. Okay, so Davidson is being stalled again, but he is not dealing with this BS for another whole year. So he asks this redacted person to put his response in writing, but the redacted individual or entity refuses to do so. So Davidson goes inside himself, he really searches, and then pulls out his minor Karen and threatens to write to the manager, aka Attic, which your girl still has no idea who or what that is. Like, maybe it's an acronym, I don't know. And folks, the drama just goes up from here because you know what? The writer of this report is so over it. He's over here like, damn it, we're definitely, I'm assuming this is a man, damn it, we're definitely gonna get more letters from Attic, DCI's office, and 2 more visits from Redacted. Then these report writers get real mean because they say, quote, simply ignore the letter unless it was registered. If this was the case, please advise, otherwise don't do anything more about it. These people really said, let's just ignore him till he goes away. But have they learned nothing? The hero of our story, Dr. Leon Davidson, will not be turned away. He will not be deterred. He will get the translation of these legitimate alien transmissions. So this next paper is also about Dr. Leon Davidson, specifically about the copy of his article that went to the Pentagon. Apparently, it was sent without comment to the author of this report, and they sent it to a Colonel Grogan, who is the special assistant to DCI, telling him that they didn't think that there was anything that they could do about this paper. And the Colonel agrees. But then the drama escalates again because these people are like, we don't want any business with Davidson. They are opting out. They are tired of his unending, inspiring persistence. Anyway, they also think that engaging with him more will just encourage his speculations and that nothing good will come out of it. So unless there are overriding reasons in the future, we do not want Redacted involved in this mess. They go so far as to call what is going on with Davidson a mess, which means that Davidson must be on the right path. The author of this report then apologizes for leaving the issue with the receiver of the report, but to take it out of his hands would be giving it to another office, which they're really trying to avoid. This one was barely legible, but here's a picture of my transcription and the paper next to it. Basically, this is a report on an unidentified flying object that was sighted in or near Iran. Besides that, there's really nothing more to say. Again, barely legible, but in 1959, there were rumors of a UFO in the USSR's Ozek region, and I am so sorry if I mispronounced that. It says at the bottom of this paper that glittering objects flying at high speed and accompanied by explosive sounds had frequently been observed in the desert region of the town. It was believed that many Kazakhs and Tajiks left the area out of superstitious fear of the flying objects. Okay, y'all, so this next paper is an odd yet fascinating combination of communism, Buenos Aires, and UFOs. But you'll have to wait till the next video to find out more. See you next week for part 3 or the AMA, I'm not really sure yet, and thank you for watching.